Na ja, jetzt kommt was anderes. Juhu! Juhu! Und noch stärker.
Das ist schwer.
Ja, aber schön.
Mir ist heiß.
Nein, lass.
Welche Stellung willst du? Diese? Oder diese? Oder diese?
Was du auch machst, verändert nichts an dem, was du bist.
Also sage ich nichts. Schließe meine beiden Augen und schlafe ein im Stehen.
Bleib ganz ruhig. Und das hier ist zu viel. Und das. Jetzt weiß ich's genau. Madame, am besten kleidet sie ihre weiße Haut.
Die habe ich nur für dich. Hast du dich gestern gut amüsiert?
Bewigged but still radiant, that was Jean Seberg in Philippe de Broca's 1961 film 5-Day Lover. We should have noted at the outset of this episode that some of the shorter clips you're going to be seeing tonight are in their native language. Unfortunately, this is the only way we can get a hold of these films here on this continent. Foreign films just aren't shown anymore. We'll note that the next film, we jump ahead 2 years to a short that Jean-Luc Godard made with Jean Seberg. It was their reunion after The Great Breathless in 1959. It's a short film intended for an anthology called La plus belle escroquerie du monde. That is the biggest swindles in the world, the biggest cons in the world. And in fact, this short is called Le Grand Escroc, The Big Swindle. And in fact, we have just one little still here. We will note that Ms. Seberg plays an American, yes, typecasting there, an American newsreel photographer, newsreel camerawoman named Patricia Leacock. Of course, the last name Leacock being a tribute of sorts to Richard Leacock, the partner of D.A. Pennebaker, whom Godard later worked with in the late 60s in the radical left-wing period. We now give you just a brief clip from Le Grand Escroc, 1963 Godard short with Jean Seberg.
Moteur.
Another one of Ms. Seberg's many distinct looks. We now jump ahead from 1965 to 1972 to give you the feature presentation of the evening. Mr. Rappaport had said we could do an entire show based around this one, and he is quite right. We might even return to it in the weeks to come because it is quite something. Yes, indeed, we turn from a very competently made studio film to an independent-type Euro co-production made by about 4 countries, financed by 4 different countries, made by Miss Seberg's second husband, Romain Gary. Oh my God, Kill! 1972, known in some quarters and some theatrical releases as Kill, Kill, Kill. We're going to be showing this one in English. You'll get to understand every word, and you'll be sorry you did. This item was, as we say, his second film. The first film he made with Miss Seberg was Birds in Peru, which is a pretentious, symbolic piece of crap. Kill is is also a pretentious symbolic piece of crap, but it's actually an action film. And we should note, as you can see even in this photo, the progression of years. Ms. Seberg was pretty beaten down and kind of battered by the different events in her life, including, as we mentioned before, the link with a supposed liaison with a Black Panther that was reported in a major news magazine planted by a government agency, the fact that her baby was miscarried, the fact that she felt persecuted and paranoid, and in fact, well, she wasn't paranoid, in fact, she was being followed, her phones were being tapped at government order. We will note that Mr. Gary was not exactly sympathetic to his wife's unstable emotional condition, as Mr. Rappaport has pointed out in his documentary. He, in fact, has his lead character here, played by James Mason, looking a lot like Romain Gary. He's made up to look like him, mocking his wife's concern with liberal causes. He, in fact, makes fun of her love of the black jungle culture in the film. Kind of nasty of Mr. Gary. We will note that, in fact, this film is made in a primitive style. It's done to be a little bit new wave, a little bit psychedelic, which is absolutely insanely abysmal, but it's also made to be very primitive, very jarring jumps, etc. The only person who could carry off this kind of Euro co-production with a primitive look was, of course, the great Sam Fuller, who we paid tribute to a few weeks back on the program, did 2 or 3 programs tributing him. And in fact, there is a connection between Gary and Sam Fuller. Gary wrote the novel White Dog, which was turned into a Sam Fuller film. As we say, Sam Fuller was the only one who could do this kind of film. Gary is totally adrift in what he's doing. There are a lot of jarring jump cuts in here. There are 2 songs named Kill 'Em All. We also have one of them being done by, we should note, by blues musician who plays a role in the film, Memphis Slim. The other one being done by Doris Troy, the woman who sang Just One Look. We will also note that the plot of the film is pretty much a kind of a cop from Dirty Harry. We have a renegade cop who doesn't go by the books. He's a loose cannon. He, in fact, has quit the police force so he can kill corrupt cops and narcotics dealers. And above him in the chain of command was James Mason, who in fact is totally disturbed by the fact that our children are being killed daily on playgrounds by the scourge of drug dealing. He's a very pious, pompous guy, and in fact he acts, as we said, very snotty to his wife. We will lastly note that the film has some, as we said, bizarre imagery. You'll see the trampoline stuff. We gotta fit that in there. Some amazing pop music once again, but very, very cheesy. A little silly softcore pornographic interludes. This is a very poorly made film, very silly stuff, and in fact, as we say, not Jean Seberg at her best, but it's something we had to show you because we do love these bizarre co-productions from Europe. We now give you our feature for the evening, the incredibly silly Romain Gary film called Kill.
Oh, Mr. Hoffman! Mr. Hoffman! Mr. Hoffman!
No comment. I am free on bail.
Oh, Mr. Hoffman!
No comment. I am free on bail.
Dreaming of the jungle. Well, we'll have to make do with this.
Is that all?
Give trouble to the Swiss police. Those poor bastards never get to kill anything. What's the Afro wig about? Are we on a new protest kick?
Any kick would do roundabout now.
Yeah, too much Switzerland, I know. Got yourself a lion.
I've had enough of dreaming, Alan. Enough cuckoo clocks, enough gentility. We have a nice, peaceful life, and it's driving me up the wall.
Yes, I can see that.
Funny thing about being married to the law is that you never meet anybody different.
You want to save the world, don't you? Why don't you blow up a university or shoot a cop? Your information, the world was already saved 2,000 years ago, and look at it. We've got to go now. We're meeting Olga on the